This is the Hot Take Hockey Podcast with your hosts, Lucas and John Viveiros.
Erik Karlsson's conversation. So a guy that has looked like a horrible contract, way past his prime. Well, he's back to his prime. He's looking good. But over 11 million. One, do you see it being the time the Sharks are potentially rebuilding team or a team that wants to go for Bedard, trading Karlsson because it's probably more of an opportunity now? And two, where are a couple teams, and I'll give my thoughts as well, where are a couple teams you could see Karlsson getting moved to if there's an opportunity?
If I'm Sharks management, I would definitely look at doing it because I think the mission coming into the season should be to tank for Bedard. I just don't think your team's good enough to do anything in the playoffs, and maybe by the grace of God, there's a chance they could be in the fight for a playoff spot, but I don't know if you want to be in that discussion. Like, why even go for that if it's not going to end in anything substantial? So if I was Sharks management, I'd certainly be doing it. I know we'll start off with the obvious one that everyone's going to shout about. Is there a potential reunion with the Senators? To that, I would say if you're Ottawa, I don't know why you'd be doing this other than for straight PR. Ottawa is an absolute disaster right now, and they've been severely underachieving. So taking on a cap hit like that, even if it's
I don't even know if the money is possible.
Even if it's retained, even if it's double retained, I don't know if you want to lock yourself to that. And that chapter seems like it closed.
Yeah, the only chance I see it making sense is if Zaitsev goes back the other way. And like I said, the Sharks are retaining at least a couple mil on that. And combined with the fact that if Karlsson wanted to go, that's what I'm saying. If he waives the no movement clause, then there's the desire combined with the fact that Sens fans need something to get excited, kind of what you're alluding to, like a PR thing. Sens fans need something to get excited about. I would imagine Karlsson coming back and Zaitsev going the other way. That would be the best day ever for Sens fans.
The market would be buzzing.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
We just talked about Riley getting hate. It's not even that's like a joke of a conversation when it comes to an actual guy that's getting hate right now. I actually think Zaitsev gets more hate than Justin Hall from Sens fans. It's bad. It's so bad. The guy, to the point, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if it's real. So maybe.
Oh yeah, the DM.
Fun of me. The DM. I think that was real, right?
I'm pretty sure that was verified as real.
So you literally have a player reaching out to a fan and chirping them. That's how down bad it is. That's how bad the situation with Zaitsev in Ottawa has become.
Yeah. So you know what? You're talking me into it now because I'm thinking this maybe relieves the pressure and just the negativity coming out of the market right now, that if the Sens did this, it could actually, create some buzz. So maybe there is a fit. But I don't know
I'll bounce back after you there and just go, but what happened to the buzz of getting Drew? What happened to the buzz about getting DeBrincat?
I know. And the other issue, the issue that comes into play too is DeBrincat's a UFA, right?
Yeah.
So
fire DJ Smith.
And they're going to want to lock him up, and that's going to be big dough. So I don't know if they want to have another contract on their books getting in the
That's the thing, right? If they go after Karlsson and they don't have major money being retained on that, combined with contracts out, you're saying no to DeBrincat long-term in Ottawa. You're just
what about the Kraken?
I know that's been talked about. What I would say, again, marketing PR thing, 100%. And I look at the scenario where the Kraken have pending UFAs that they could trade to other teams, of course, and they'd have the cap. I think that could be a cool scenario. Also, just being a fresh expansion team in Seattle, actually playing decent this year at times. So it's if the Kraken, I don't know, wanted to just have one of these years where it's they get their younger guys more experience. I mean, they have to figure out that Shane Wright situation. So the Kraken are an interesting one. I saw that being suggested. I have two teams in mind.
The Kraken actually, shockingly enough to me, this is why I wanted to pull up their cap friendly. They actually don't have that much cap space.
No, they don't.
So
guys that would go out the other day or other way.
Yeah, that would result in definitely a big contract or two moving out. What teams do you have on your radar for Erik Karlsson?
So the two teams I was actually thinking about. Well, actually, one team I was thinking about more so because they were looking at a different San Jose Shark in the offseason, Brent Burns. The Dallas Stars were looking at Brent Burns, and they were looking at him heavy, apparently. And then the whole Klingberg situation, then obviously he went to the Ducks, and then they were trying to get Brent Burns. Brent Burns went to Carolina. Erik Karlsson to Dallas. I think Heiskanen and Karlsson would become one of the best pairs in the league, if not the best. And Dallas has a couple big contracts they could send the other way, including the Hudobin contract, one. And two, if they were to send one of those big forward contracts, because I'm not saying it would work, but Sagan and Ben have actually been playing better. So if Dallas and management wanted to move on, it's a better time to move on. I'm not saying it'd be in that San Jose deal, but what I am saying is I think there is a fit for Karlsson to be in Dallas because their two better defensemen are left shot guys in Heiskanen and Lindell, and their right shot guys I think include Colin Miller, Hakanpää, and this is just off the top of my head here, the guy Niels Lundqvist. They just got
Niels Lundqvist. Yeah.
So they could use a guy like Erik Karlsson.
So here's my thing. With that is Erik Karlsson was, one of the best offensive defensemen of this generation when he played for the Sens, right? And he was the number 1D and he ran the power play and all that. He goes to San Jose, was good for a bit, fell off. And a lot of it you could deem up to injury, age, all that. But Brett Burns was getting the big minutes. In terms of that number 1 power play. And I'm just wondering if in the scenario where he goes to the Sens or the Kraken, he's their number 1 guy on the power play. If he goes to Dallas, is he the number 1 guy on the power play?
But my thing is, I get what you're saying there, but is it really that much far off? So you just said the Ottawa thing, but Shabbat's there.
Yeah, but right? I don't know. I feel like they might run Karlsson with Shabbat's struggles.
No, I get that. But same thing. I don't think I think Stars fans look at Heiskanen as like their number 1 guy, clear out. There's not even a conversation, but do they look at him as the power play guy? Like, I think he can be on the power play, but they also did have Klingberg, and I think there was the versatility there. All I'm saying is I think Heiskanen, sure, I think he personally probably want the power play time with the top guys, but I think if he's playing 22, 23, 24 minutes a night, and majority of that on 5-on-5 and then the penalty kill, then you run him on the second unit, Karlsson. I mean, I see what you're saying 100%.
It would look good, though.
But it would definitely lay off Heiskanen's minutes a bit, but he's still playing power play too. He's still playing the penalty kill. I don't know. I still think he would have that role, but Karlsson being on that top pair would get the minutes combined with the number 1 power play. I do have a hot take for the second team though. I think you might rip me for it a little bit.
Let's hear it.
I was trying to look at the Sharks roster. Was there crossover or was Pavelski already gone? That's what I was going to ask. That was the only other argument I was going to make, but live on the podcast here.
With Pavelski and Karlsson on the team.
My knowledge is being a little dead right now, but I'm pretty sure he was there, right? Yeah. Pavelski and Karlsson were on the team. Yeah. So I was just making sure. Why I'm questioning my knowledge on that, I don't know, because I was following the Sharks a lot that year. But anyways, Pavelski and Karlsson will have some familiarity there as well. But my other team for Karlsson is a huge hot take. I don't think it would similar to Ottawa, I don't think it would actually work. But in terms of a couple contracts going the other way and getting some assets for San Jose, and it's also in the same division. So again, such a hot take. I don't think it would work. But Erik Karlsson to the Edmonton Oilers. Hear me out for a second. Hear me out.
Okay. I'm ready to hear it. Let's hear it.
They truly do not have a guy that like I look at and is like that explosive number 1 power play guy, offensive guy. Sure, Nurse at times has looked good. The contract's atrocious, but has sometimes looked good. I don't classify him as a top offensive power play guy. Evan Bouchard, at times he's manned that power play. At times he's looked great with that shot. I don't think Evan Bouchard's the guy I'm riding home about and going, he's my number 1 clear out offensive explosive guy. Maybe he becomes that. I don't know. But if I'm looking at Edmonton and I'm already looking at the forwards on that top power play and McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, and if it's Hyman in front, obviously Evander Kane when he comes back could be in there as well. Imagine Erik Karlsson manning that point on that power play. That's what they've been missing, man, because Tyson Barrie has been on that top power play for so long. And he's the only disaster part on that power play. Or at least he's the only part on that power play where it's like, it could be much better.
Yeah. So I guess Tyson Barrie is going back the other way.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is you have Edmonton with contracts that they wanted to move in the offseason in Warren Foegele, and they signed Jesse Puljujarvi, but there's still the rumors. If you attach Foegele, Puljujarvi, and I don't know if you want to fact check me on this, Lucas, but I'm pretty confident with with what I know here, and Tyson Barrie. So Barrie, I think about 4.5, Foegele just over 2. So we're at about 6.5 right there, closing on 7. Plus Puljujarvi, you're closing in on 10 million right there. That's almost enough to match up on Karlsson. The Sharks retain $2 million on Karlsson. or even 1.5 on Karlsson.
And you get Puljujarvi in a fresh setting.
Fresh setting for Puljujarvi. Yeah. That is my hot take. You attach the first round pick. You attach a couple prospects. I'm probably saying Broberg. Philip Broberg goes to San Jose. So Broberg and Puljujarvi. I think Puljujarvi would play well. And yeah, and I think the first round pick and Broberg could be enough to incentivize San Jose to make a deal like that. Get rid of that Karlsson contract before it becomes bad in a couple of years. And Edmonton gets a nice go into the playoffs with, as I said, if that power play gets going, more so than it already is because it's disgusting, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, Hyman, Karlsson.
That'd be wild. That would be wild.
That's my hot take. I'm not, again.
The money checks out, buddy. The money checks out.
Obviously, Edmonton's goaltending, still a question mark. But in terms of what you need to win a championship, if they got Karlsson, you can't say the Oilers don't have that. If Stewart, Skinner, or Campbell can figure it out, that's all I'm saying. It's a hot take. I don't think it works. But in terms of the contracts of Foegele, Puljujarvi, and Barrie, if the Oilers could get assets, as I said, like a Broberg and a first and maybe something else to incentivize San Jose, yes, it's in the same division, but this is going to already be a hard trade to make. And I have to make some hot takes on this pod sometimes.